So where we left off was that if things are the same, you can add them and accumulate them. Whether I call these positive numbers or negative numbers, if I have one positive and I add 3 positives, I get 4 positives. If I have one negative and I add 3 negatives, I get 4 negatives, okay? So think of positives and negatives in this sense, like common items, okay? So in general, this is a rule that you want to remember. When the signs are the same, add the numbers and keep the sign. When the signs are the same, and again, this is super important to know these rules apply when there's a plus sign in between the numbers, okay? Because it can kind of start getting confusing when you have plus signs, minus signs, negatives thrown in there. So we're just looking right now at adding 2 numbers. So let's give some examples here. 2 positives, we used this one earlier, right? We know how to do that. You'll rarely see that kind of problem on your quizzes or homework because I know you know how to add 2 positive numbers. If you got those wrong, that would, I don't know. But if I have one negative number and I add 4 negative numbers, I get 5 total negative numbers. Think about it on a number line. I am not going to draw a number line because I don't want you stuck to a number line. I want you knowing the rules and being able to do them quickly, okay? But if I go to -1 on a number line, and negative is the same as opposite, right? So if I'm adding 4 in that opposite direction, I'm adding 4 more spaces past -1, so I keep going to -5, okay? -6 plus -3 is -9. -20 plus -1 is -21. Okay? Also, well, I'll put cards on a second. All right, can I go to the next one? We good?
No. No.
I'll look for my cards while you're looking. Very similar to this. If I say these are positive, the backside, and this is negative, then if I have 3 plus, however many I got here, this just is something I can actually hold on to. 3 plus 2, I obviously have 5 altogether. If I have -3 and -2, I have -5 altogether, okay?
Yes.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Now, why am I allowed to say positive and negative together and negative and positive together in the same rule, do you think? Another way to ask it is, why is P plus N the same as N plus P? Braden?
They're the same but flipped.
That's true, that's kind of what I said, but do you know why we can do that? Why can we flip them?
No.
Okay, honest. Emma?
Because the number of large is number, so, let's say the positive is larger than the negative. When the opposite around.
Okay, I'll give you a clue though. I'm actually looking for a name of a property. Kayla?
The commutative
The
property.
commutative, she's got it right by her. She is correct. Commutative property lets you flip them. So there's no reason to write this twice. These are the same. So I'm going to, let's use the cards first and you tell me. Let's say we have +3 and -1. How do you think these are gonna simplify? Any ideas? Brady? What does that mean?
Like you make you put them with an absolute value and you have them.
No, good try though. Anybody else have a proposal? Leah? Layla?
Does it go up by like the negatives?
I'm not sure I understand.
Like it's -3 plus 1, right?
3 plus -1.
Oh, okay. So it'd be like -1 and then 0 and then 1, right? Does that make sense?
I'm trying to follow you.
Like it goes up from the negative number.
It goes up from the okay, so you want to start with -1. This one takes you to,
0,
this one takes you to,
1, 2.
so you're saying the answer should be 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with that, and that's good, although that's going to a number line. Fantastic. I wanna finally get to a rule where it doesn't use a number line, but that's good. You couldn't think of it that way for sure. If you start on a number and move in this direction. Anybody else have an idea? So good job. John?
Just do 3 minus 1 because 1 is a negative, so it's like doing subtraction.
So in fact, what you're kind of doing is starting on the 3 on the number line and taking 1 down. You're still getting 2, huh? Good. Let me ask you this. What does this make?
0.
0. How do you know?
Because the clicked card is representing the negative and the non-clicked is representing the
So you're saying when I add opposites, I get
0.
0. They're like -2 plus 2, that's 0. -10 plus 10, that's 0. 20 plus -20 is 0. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if I'm on, back to that number line idea, if I'm on a number and I go in the opposite direction of wherever I started, I'm gonna always end up on 0. So opposites make 0. It's a good thing to remember. Now keep in mind, opposites mean same number, different sign, right? I want you to make sure you understand what opposites mean, because 3 and -2 are not opposites. They have opposite signs, but the word opposite as a noun means 3 and -3, okay? So, okay. John also kind of touched on, well, Layla did too, but he kind of used the word subtraction, right? So what's really gonna happen because of everything we just said here is that when you have numbers that have different signs, we are gonna subtract the numbers. You is funny thing. Write that down first, and then I'll go over it. It says, different signs, subtract, and keep the sign of the bigger number. So see what's going on here is, again, I'm just making up a random math problem here. If I have, let's go with -4 and +3, and I know two numbers, I want your eyes looking up here. If I know that two numbers that are opposites make 0, those are gone. Those are gone. Those are gone. Do you see that whichever one's remaining, that's what your sign has to be, because that's like saying there were more of those. So that's what's left over. Years ago I heard a teacher make a comparison to like, think of enemies, like in some movie or in some story. Think of groups of people that fight each other in a movie. How about like the dark side and the light side from Star Wars, okay? So let's say you got you've got Luke Skywalker and his bunch, and you have Darth Vader and his bunch, and they're fighting. And every time they fight, somebody is, you know, knocked out. Well, then if I say who's left over, well, it would be the ones that are left over when the other side has all been eliminated. Does that make sense? You know, that's what this sign of the bigger number thing is talking about. If I have -7 plus 4, that means there's 7 of those and 4 of those. So there's more negatives. So the answer is going to be negative in the long run. So whichever one, and some of you mentioned absolute value, this is where it does come into play. Whichever one has the greater absolute value, that's the sign that you're keeping. But I don't know that I need to use those words absolute value to confuse necessarily. But following this rule, the signs are different, so I subtract and take the sign of the bigger number. Okay?
Whoa.
Pardon me?
Oh, I said I did.
It's like light bulbs are going on out there?
Yeah.
That's easy.
It is easy. It really is. -10 plus 2. There's 10 of those and 2 of those, so there's more negatives. Subtract the numbers because they're canceling each other out on the way. Okay? 4 plus -6. Subtract the 2 numbers. Now in this, I'm thinking in my mind 6 minus 4, right? Because that's how we subtract. But there's more negatives. So, -2. Okay? I'll let you finish writing that down, then we'll go through some. Are we? Now, there are rules that go, this is just the rules of addition. But the good thing is, a lot of the other rules are based on this one, okay? So, we wanna get this one down pat. Yeah, Lily.
Can I go to the restroom?
Yes. We're gonna do some flashcards. I'm gonna give everybody some problems. But I have all the 4 operations mixed together, so give me a second. So, same sign, add and keep the sign, because all the things are alike. Different sign, subtract the numbers, because there's gonna be leftovers, and whichever one has more leftovers is the sign you keep. Okay? I would suggest this first time around, you write all these down. Okay? And in fact, I'll give each person a problem, you answer it, and then, like, everybody should answer it, and then I'm gonna ask somebody to answer it themselves. So write down 5 plus -7, and give yourself an answer. And Andrew, what do you think it is?
-4.
It is not. Try again, because are the signs different or the same?
Different.
Different. What do you do when the signs are different?
You subtract them.
You subtract. So it's kind of like 7 bad guys and 5 good guys. There's more bad guys left over.
2.
So -2. Okay? Any questions on that one? -2? Okay, next one. -4 plus -9. You can keep your hands down. I'm gonna get to all of you. -4 plus -9. William, what do you think?
-13.
-13 is correct. If I have 4 bad guys and 9 other bad guys come along, we got 13 bad